Um, so this is, I feel this is, hi, Sarah again. Trigger warning, I'm going to be saying all the words. All triggering words are up for open grabs. So I know I had said in my previous um, video that I was going to try, or one of my videos, I said I was going to try to not use certain trigger words. And I'm going to, this is my warning right now. Every single video that I do is going to have to come with a trigger warning. I've realized that not using the actual words, heads up, exit now if this is problematic, not saying words like rape, child abuse, molestation, neglect, whatever other words trigger you, suicide, severe depression, mental illness. I don't know what things are triggering for what people. I mean, some of us have really strange triggers. Toilet paper is one for me. I will explain at a later date. So there's no way that I can actually account for what could trigger anybody. I am an imperfect person. That's not an excuse. That's just fact. I will say things that will trigger people. People that I care about, people that I love, absolute strangers I know nothing about. I can't I want to say I'm going to be mindful about absolutely everyone and how my words could affect everyone. But honestly, I don't have the energy to think about however many billion people and what someone somewhere in some part of the world that I don't know might find offensive or rude or difficult to hear. I don't know. And I don't know how to be gentle for everyone else. All I know is that I experienced things and they affected me in a certain way. And from my perspective, these things, there's a lot of things that were atrocities, that were absolutely bad things. And by censoring the words that I use in consideration of people who have their own trauma and their own issues, I'm not trying to hurt you, but I feel that it is sort of giving a bit of a pass to the perpetrators of my trauma by not calling it for what it actually is, by just saying the R word instead of just actually coming out and saying it was rape, it was child abuse, it was assault. If I don't actually say those words, it feels like I'm watering down what actually happened to me and to my family and to people very close to me that I care for deeply. And I'm not trying to inflict pain on anyone else. I really hope that's not the case. And I really hope when my trigger warning is seen, y'all just quick exit out. I don't want to hurt other people because I'm hurting. I've heard the phrase hurt people. I don't want to be that person, but I don't know any other way to tell my story that is fully genuine and actually has the impact it's meant to, because by not saying the words, I just feel I can't speak honestly and clearly, and if I have to be mindful of everything that I might say that might be triggering. I'm okay if I say something and I'm being inconsiderate to a particular minority that I'm not a part of, and I'm unaware that terminology is condescending or elitist or unfriendly or whatever. I'm okay if someone could tell me, like, hey, maybe don't use that terminology. I recently had a conversation with a friend about exactly that, and I am receptive if I'm using terminology that is offensive to a group I'm not a part of, but I am a part of the trauma community. And as a trauma survivor, not a victim, I can't water it down, and it feels like I'm giving a pass to people by not actually saying exactly the words. I don't know. I don't know why it feels watered down, but that's how it feels to me, and I can't help how I feel on that, and I don't want to. I don't want to adjust for that. I just don't. I don't know. Maybe right now I just don't have the energy to think about too many other people's difficulties in the face of the difficulties that I'm currently facing. And maybe I'm being selfish, But honestly, right now, I'm kind of okay with being a little bit of a narcissist. I think it's okay to do self care, and once in a while, like, you can put the breathing mask on yourself first and then help the person next to you. So, if anything I say is difficult for you, let me know. I'd be glad to talk to you and help hear you out. Like, that's not a problem, but I'm not going to censor myself on that behalf. And I would encourage anyone that would find any of what I say triggering to please just don't watch. I just, I'd like to be mindful of how my words can affect every last person on this whole universe, world, wherever. I don't have the energy to do that. I just don't. I have too much of my own shit I'm dealing with. I'm sorry. This is a selfish endeavor. I am not trying to pretend that I am doing this for the greater good. If good things come from it, I will be really happy about it. If this opens up discussion with anyone else over their trauma, I hope that instead of, I don't want to gatekeep trauma. I don't want to say my trauma is worse than yours. I'm just saying my trauma is different from most people, even from other members that survived this same cult. We all experience things differently, even when we're experiencing the same exact trauma. Like all 7 of us sisters, I mentioned that my mom died, and I plan on making a video about that tomorrow on the anniversary, 25 years since her passing. Um, but all 7 of us experienced that trauma differently. Even though we all lost our mom, the exact same relation to her, we all experienced it and processed it different. And that is how we are. It's the wonderful awesomeness of our diverse brains and mentalities and cultures and everything that affects how we view the world and how we interact with it. And I think that's a wonderful and beautiful thing. And so if anything I say is triggering to you, I am really sorry preemptively. Honestly, I am. Please know that I mean it. But in order for me to say what I need to say, I just can't worry about what might set anyone else off. So if you do have traumas that associate with sexual abuse, assault, child abuse, neglect, and a whole slew of other things, and of course, swearing if that's bothersome to you. I I just simply can't edit myself to accommodate you. I can't and I won't. It it feels like I'd be hurting myself in order to help other people that I don't even know. And I need to actually be concerned with my trauma and my journaling. Honestly, I consider this an online journal. This is my version of shouting out into the void, and maybe someone will hear and maybe no one will hear, and it just will help me feel a little bit better. That's literally my whole intention with this. I'm not trying to save anybody but myself. I'm not trying to enlighten anyone but myself, really. I'm like, literally, this is entirely a selfish endeavor, and I want to make that absolutely and abundantly clear. This is healing for me. This is helping me in my grief, and which stirred up so much trauma that I thought I had already handled, and all of a sudden my brain is like, oh my god, you never healed all of that. We got work to do. And I'm like, no, I'm so tired of work. So I hope this doesn't come off as like mean selfish, but I will repeat, it is absolutely for me. I don't want to make any pretense that I'm doing it for any grander reason than that. This is honestly to help me heal and help me process everything that I feel I need to process. And I hope it will open up discussion and make it more free for people to express their trauma. I hope it'll help people speak out about things that they've experienced. I hope it will give voice to other people. I hope all sorts of lovely and dramatic and like wonderful things. Oh my god, I can't sing for shit. I hope it'll bring about wonderful epiphanies in the world. But the reality is I'm one small person and I'm not that relevant in the grand scheme of things. So the chance that I have any sort of impact on anyone aside from myself and possibly a few people that are very closely connected to me, I don't I don't assume I'm going to make any impact. I hope I do because I think I have a bit of an overinflated ego sometimes, and I'd like to imagine that I'm like some superhero. And oh heavens, girl, I got to get into that. Sorry. my brain keeps thinking of all the stories that I need to tell, and there are so many. Um, but yeah, I'd like to think that I'm like some white savior, if you will, that is just gonna like help rescue people come from the darkness and into the light and share your stories, and let's bond over our trauma, and let's support each other and be there for each other, and let's create this whole community of people who support each other. But honestly, I'm nobody. I'm just me. And like if that were to happen, like OMG, that would be super fucking awesome. But I'm I'm just me. I like I can dream all the big dreams and all the people I might help, but in the end, I at least want to help myself. It would be lovely if other people are assisted in this process and find their voice. That would be amazing. Really, really, it would. But if I'm the only person who is helped and benefited by this, I am okay with that. And so this is my, it's weird to be 3 videos in and decide, well, I was going to try to play it safe and be mindful of triggers. And then I'm like, no, I'm feeling too caged in, and I'm feeling like I can't speak freely when I'm trying to be too mindful of the terminology I use. So I've just decided that I can't do it and try to still be fully genuine. It just feels forced for me, and I don't like that. So this one will be a short one, I think. Oh, good Lord. I'm just horrendous at signing off and keeping things brief. Um, but yeah, I think that's all I really needed to say. I have so much more to discuss because, of course, I do. I talk in like one extraordinarily long sentence, and that is how I communicate in real life, too. It is so weird looking into just an image of myself. Yeah, that's basically all I wanted to say. I will start putting like TWs on my videos. Maybe I should just add it to the end of Cult Life. The channel name, I'm not sure. I don't know how to do this. Maybe recommendations would be great. If anyone's like commenting on my streams, yeah, I have no idea. But yeah, I hope y'all have a decent day. Doesn't have to be great. It's okay if it's not a great day. I have many mostly not terrible days myself, and I'm very thankful for the not terrible days. Um, Signing off. Ciao.